Anyone who drinks bourbon has heard of Elijah Craig, but do you know that he's considered by some to be the inventor of bourbon whiskey? Welcome to this episode of Wistery, where I explore the rich and colorful history of your favorite beverage. I'm your professor, Bourbon Barry, and do I have a story for you? Elijah Craig, was an American Baptist preacher who in later life became an entrepreneur. And legend has it that Elijah Craig was the inventor of bourbon whiskey. Elijah Craig was born in Orange County, Virginia in 1738. Craig was converted in 1764 and soon began to travel throughout Virginia to baptize new members for his congregation. In 1782, seeking religious freedom, Craig led a migration of his church to Fayette County of Kentucky. In 1786, Craig became pastor of the Great Crossing Church, and in 1795 became one of the founding members of McConnell's Church. He founded the first classical school in Kentucky in 1787 and founded the Rittenhouse Academy in 1798. Craig was also a successful businessman, opening Kentucky's first paper, rope, cloth, and lumber mills. And in 1789, Craig opened a distillery. Now, here's where the history gets a little bit more sketchy, because legend has it that he was the first person to age his distillate in charred oak barrels. But by 1785, when Bourbon County was formed, there were dozens of farmers that were distilling corn whiskeys, which they called bourbon to distinguish them from the more popular rye whiskeys that were made in the East. And while legend has it that Elijah Craig was the inventor of bourbon, there's no historical record to back up that claim. Nevertheless, Craig continued to prosper, and he opened a retail store in Frankfurt. He eventually passed away in 1808. So while we may never know if he was really the first to put his corn whiskey in charred oak barrels, there's little doubt that Elijah Craig was one of the more charismatic and influential members of early Kentucky history. So the next time you pour yourself some Elijah Craig bourbon, maybe you'll know just a little bit more about the man behind the name. I'm your Professor Bourbon Barry. Thanks for watching.